President Trump's recently passed reconciliation bill will accelerate the insolvency of Social Security. 3.8 million people ages 62 and older will fall into poverty.
Are you on? Which side are you on?
Let's get to last week in Southern labor. Here's what workers in the U.S. South and the American colonies were up to from August 29th to September 5th. And as a reminder, the information on Florida's public sector union elections comes from McKenna Schuler's monthly roundup of Florida union news. You can check it out on her website, caringclassrevolt.substack.com, where you can get more information about Florida labor, as well as exclusive details about some of the union elections referenced here. In new union campaigns, 200 workers from Memphis Public Libraries in Memphis, Tennessee, are demanding the mayor give them collective bargaining rights like other city employees and to schedule a union election. 5 security guards at Andy Frayne Services in Charlotte, North Carolina, filed a petition to hold a union election with Wallace Regiment Union. 340 workers at 4 locations of Tom Thumb, a grocery store in Texas, filed a petition to hold a union election with the United Food and Commercial Workers, UFCW, Locals 1000 and 540. 100 workers at Albertsons in Fort Worth, Texas, filed a petition to hold a union election with UFCW Locals 1000 and 540 as well. The Teamsters Local 610 is attempting to raid a unit of 300 workers at Zoom Transportation Services in St. Louis, Missouri, who are currently represented by the Amalgamated Transit Union, ATU. 17 workers at Intergy in Westlake, Louisiana, filed a petition to hold a union election with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, IBEW, Local 2286. And workers at the Jacksonville Housing Authority in Jacksonville, Florida, have filed petitions to unionize with the Independent Association of Public and Private Employees. In election results, 306 workers at the city of Daytona Beach, Florida, voted 61-1 in favor of unionizing with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFSCME Council 79. 26 firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics at the Pace Fire Rescue District in Pace, Florida, voted 23-2 in favor of unionizing with the Santa Rosa County Professional Firefighters, Local 4836. They are an affiliate of the International Association of Firefighters. 5,953 workers at Miami-Dade County Public Schools in Miami, Florida, voted 441-32 in favor of recertifying AFSCME Local 1184 as their union. 13 workers at Custom Fabrication in Philpott, Kentucky, voted 3-10 against unionization with the Central Midwest Regional Council of Carpenters. 9 workers at Cisco Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky, voted 3-5 against unionization with the Teamsters Local 89. And 185 workers at Highline Warren in Glendale, West Virginia, voted 80-82 against unionization with the Teamsters Local 697. Very, very tough loss there. And 25 workers at Duke Raleigh Hospital in Raleigh, North Carolina, voted 13-8 in favor of maintaining their unionization with the International Union of Operating Engineers, IUOE, Local 465, in a desert election.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
In grievances, unfair labor practices, and court cases, the Biden Federal Trade Commission, FTC, attempted to ban non-compete clauses for most jobs to protect workers from anti-competitive employers. Employers challenged this, obviously, and the Trump FTC just dropped the defense of the new rule, leaving workers out to dry. Former FTC Chair Lena Khan, who has received broad bipartisan support, including from Vice President J.D. Vance and Steve Bannon, said of the decision to abandon the rule that this is a massive betrayal of the 25,000 Americans who explained to the FTC how non-competes keep people trapped and coerced, undermining basic freedoms. She continued that this is another clear sign that despite its rhetoric, this administration is deeply hostile to American workers. In strikes and bargaining updates, workers at the Hilton Americas Hotel in downtown Houston, Texas, who are unionized with Unite Here Local 23, are on strike to secure a $23 an hour wage. Workers say that Hilton has seen huge profits recently. This is the first strike of hotel workers in Houston in recent history. 300 workers at UNFI, who are unionized with Teamsters Local 79 in Florida, ratified their first 5-year collective bargaining agreement after winning their union. The union says the contract includes a 42% wage increase, better health care, and a pension. 200 drivers for Genesis Logistics in Virginia, unionized with the Teamsters Local 322, have begun a strike after the company failed to bargain seriously for a contract with the workers. They authorized a strike by 90% back in April. Political and legislative updates. Workers in Nashville, led by the Nashville Labor Council and their president, friend of the show, Vonda McDaniel, held a solidarity event where they highlighted how attacks from billionaire CEOs and the Trump administration have impacted their lives and how they are fighting back. A Republican congressperson introduced legislation that would provide a permanent framework to increase pork and poultry line processing speeds even further. The Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union, RWDSU, which represents 15,000 poultry workers across the country, said that this bill ignores years of evidence that increased speeds endanger workers and compromise food safety, and that workers in poultry and meat processing plants already face some of the most dangerous conditions in the country, with high injury rates, repetitive stress disorders, and exposure to hazardous conditions. Faster line speeds mean fewer precious seconds to work safely, meaning greater risk of cuts, slips, and other serious injuries, and not to mention less time to ensure food safety. The Partnership for Public Service released a concerning report that some 10% of the federal government has left or been fired since Trump came into office. That's 200,000 jobs eliminated. Unions and progressive nonprofits held a virtual town hall last week discussing Social Security. They explained in part that, according to the chief actuary of the Social Security Administration, President Trump's recently passed reconciliation bill will accelerate the insolvency of Social Security to 2032. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates insolvency will lead to an across-the-board benefit cut of around 24% for Social Security recipients. By 2045, these projected cuts mean an additional 3.8 million people ages 62 and older will fall into poverty, according to the Urban Institute. National Nurses United, the largest healthcare union in the country, are supporting the Social Security Expansion Act, legislation introduced by Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont and Representative Val Hoyle from Oregon. The legislation would expand Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year per recipient and ensure Social Security is fully funded for the next 75 years. The legislation requires millionaires and billionaires to pay taxes on their business and investment incomes, just as workers currently do on their paychecks. If we missed something, let us know at tvlr.fm/contact, and we'll try to include it in next week's Roundup. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m., and we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.